The Portuguese coast. One of the most surprising oceanic habitats of Europe. Shaped for ages by the elements, it's a dynamic frontier between land and sea. The challenges here are to survive extreme change. Even so, the wanderers of this magnificent coastline have successfully adapted to this harsh environment. The rich coastal waters can support great numbers of life forms, each with their own dramas. In the middle of the Atlantic lies a dazzling world, the Azores Islands. The waters that surround these islands are the background for incredible stories. Thousands of oceanic creatures roam these waters and fill them with life. The beauty of this underwater realm is in the balance between the gentle and the odd. Wild Portugal. From the coast to the islands. Portugal is Europe's westernmost point and the last stretch of land before the great Atlantic Ocean. The bond between the Portuguese people and the sea is as old as the country itself. For centuries, the people that settled along the coast had to learn how to master the generous but also fearsome ocean. This mastery gave birth to the Age of Discoveries and to some of the best sailors in the world. Today, the challenges are different. Finding more sustainable ways of fishing and have a balanced coexistence with the local wildlife. The future of the world's oceans is in human hands. We hope the efforts for conservation are as strong as these men's daily perseverance. In the Algarve, One of the most beautiful stretches of coastline is the Ria Formosa. A big lagoon, blessed with ocean nutrients, but protected from its wild mood. These marshlands are a haven for a wide variety of wildlife. Every day, the land becomes ocean, and the ocean becomes land. This is an intertidal habitat that is continually changing. The waters inside the lagoon are the perfect shelter for many species of aquatic creatures. One of the most surprising is the seahorse. Anchored to the bottom, they patiently wait for a hunting opportunity. Small invertebrates are their favorite prey. The seahorse community here is, until now, the biggest known gathering of this species in the entire planet. When the tide recedes and the bottom becomes exposed, the local wildlife begins a new shift. Birds were waiting, and they arrive in outstanding numbers. The waders invade the recently revealed mud, probing for small invertebrates. Their specialized beaks work in different ways and are keys to reach even the most hidden meals. Until the tide rises again, no one is safe. For crabs, this is also a time for feeding. The window of opportunity is narrow. They are fighting against time. They have to eat as much as they can. Thousands of them patrol this mud in search for algae and decaying matter. But if you are a crab, you must be leery, and you better watch your back. Being careful can prove to be a life-saving strategy. In spring, we can fully understand why they are called fiddler crabs. They use their enormous clamp and wave it around constantly. They want to impress the clampless females and protect their burrows. Usually, the waving approach is enough. But in this crab-filled marsh, emotions are high. As the tide fills in and the land vanishes, tension is tangible. Waving now is not enough. The clamp must be used as a weapon. All over the place, short and fierce combats occur. The whole area seems now a battleground. They must protect their burrows at all costs and show the females their strength. If the forces are even, a standoff is inevitable. But usually, the disputes are over in a few seconds. As soon as the water rises, all this commotion will be suspended for the next 6 hours. Spring is also a time for new arrivals to the lagoon. Little terns have just checked in. This small seabird has spent the last months in Africa and has undertook an incredible journey to reach Portugal. They choose the pristine beaches of this area to gather in great numbers. But why did they face such a risky journey to get here? They are escaping from the African heat, and here they have the perfect conditions for a very important assignment. Once they arrive, they check the neighborhood and start to build relations. An offering is always a good plan to reinforce a bond, but first they have to find it. Hovering high in the sky, they have the perfect vantage point to get what they are looking for. Once the tern spots a fish, it unleashes its main asset: precision diving. The lagoon waters are not so safe for the fish after all. Back at the beach, the tern now faces a new challenge: to find a female and give her the trophy. But females are picky. They don't give in at the first try. Perhaps this fish is not perfect sized, or maybe she's not in the mood right now. But persistence can pay off. Embraced by the warm breeze, the male convinces her at last. The tern couple will strengthen its bonds throughout the season, and the next generation will be born at the same beach. After a few weeks, they have to take care of their newborn chicks. But in this paradise, things are not always what they seem. They still have a lot of challenges coming their way. And some come from the air. Seagulls are a dangerous threat. The mother gets scared and flies away, leaving the chick to its own luck. The chick must rely on its camouflage. If it stays still, it might get a chance. But as close as the seagull gets, the urge to try to run away is too strong to resist. Out in the open, it has few chances of getting away. Still flightless, the chick makes an impossible run. But when everything seems lost, the mother comes to the rescue. Even though she is much smaller than the seagull, her maternal instinct compels her to attack. The surprised seagull flies off. Back on the ground, the chick is disoriented and scared. The mother is nearby, and the chick's camouflage is not helping. But a distinctive call reveals its position. Finally, they reunite again. Danger has passed for now. Camouflage is very useful in this landscape. This reptile blends with the surrounding vegetation like no other. Besides protecting him from predators, it makes him a very stealthy hunter. He has a set of weapons that make him a perfect killer. The chameleon is a master of illusion. He moves slowly through the branches of small trees and bushes. When he spots an insect, he triggers his most specialized weapon. His tongue is a guided missile. Striking at 50 feet per second, most of his prey don't even realize what has happened to them. For his victims, there is no possible escape. The Algarve is one of the few places in Europe where chameleons can thrive. After the summer, he must find a burrow to spend the colder months of the winter. The rugged coast of Sesimbra hides a great number of surprises. Due to its geographical position, this area is protected most of the year, from the big swells that hit Portugal. Emerald blue waters reach these shores. This underwater world is a place of wonder and is teeming with life. About 1,300 species of marine life call these waters home. Great schools of fish gather here to feed. For some, life is more solitary. These lone fishes seek shelter among the corals, plants, and rocks that cover the ocean bottom. Sea anemones. This strange animal lives in colonies comprised by clones of itself. For many marine species, like this crab, the sea anemone is the perfect hiding place. The poisonous tentacles keep away potential predators. Sea anemones come in different shapes, sizes, and colors, and together with other life forms, they make a delicate underwater garden. The starfish is also a common resident in these shallow waters. In spite of its gentle look, they are terrible predators. The underwater vegetation is a very important part of some reproduction strategies. A small spotted cat shark laid her eggs a few weeks ago. The embryos will develop in 5 to 11 months, depending on the water temperature. Soon, they will become young, beautiful sharks, just like this one. For tiny creatures, it's important to go undetected. And shrimps know it. They get together to feed on algae and small crustaceans. There is safety in numbers. But with so much food, it's easy to get lost. Which can be deadly. A cuttlefish is waiting from a distance. It prepares to attack. But the shrimp senses save him at last. He must remain undetected. This underwater realm may seem like a paradise, but it is in fact a perpetual battleground. In this frenetic and crowded community, everyone has to fight for space and food. Every individual has to find its own way of survival. Life here is more difficult than one might expect. The coastal landscapes in Portugal are rich and diverse. Throughout more than 1,000 miles, including the islands, we can find one of the most surprising stretches of coast in the planet. The rugged cliffs offer shelter for many seabird species that every year seek this coast to breed. The proximity to their food source, the ocean, makes these cliffs the perfect place. Springtime is when most of the chicks are born. This couple of shags have hatched a beautiful little chick, and now they will take turns on getting food and protecting her. For the yellow-legged gull, one of the most common species of seabirds in Portugal, the same task is ahead. But for this mother, this means a triple effort. All this richness also attracts other species of birds that are not so usually associated to coastal habitats. The peregrine falcon is one of them. Here, they will find the right conditions to raise the next generation. Yet, one of the most surprising species nesting here is now arriving. Most of these birds have spent the winter months in Africa. And here in the southwestern coast, they have set one of the most unique stork colonies of Europe, by the sea. After arriving, it is time to rebuild the nests from the previous years. Some couples own the same nest for several years in a row, and they have to make it clear for the other arriving birds. As storks are not marine birds, they have to search for food inland. And here, there is no lack of opportunities. The rains of the past months have created a unique and ephemeral ecosystem. A temporary pond is a perfect hunting ground. And not just for the stork. The small inhabitants of the pond must be careful enough. Perhaps it's better to seek shelter in the murky waters. These waters hide an all different world of wonder. Thousands of tiny alien creatures create a buzzing and crowded underwater place. The most visible are the amphibians that are still in the early stage of their metamorphosis. Freshwater shrimps also live here, and they must be careful. Insect larvae are always looking for a meal. They have to maintain a safety distance. Getting too close to a larvae can be fatal. For this female carrying her eggs, everything is lost. During the rainy months, multiple ponds will appear throughout this coast, each with its own characteristics. This prehistoric animal is one of the most fascinating creatures of the pond. Tadpole shrimps are true living fossils that can provide a glimpse of an era without humans. It is so old that its ancestors shared this landscape with dinosaurs. It was only recently discovered, and now scientists know that it's endemic to this part of the planet. As the season goes forward, the ponds will dry out and a new face will be revealed. For the aquatic animals, all seems lost. But before the pond dried, they laid their eggs in the bottom, under the clay. The eggs will wait for the next rainy season to hatch and fill the temporary ponds with life again. Back at the cliffs, storks have already laid their eggs, and now their time is devoted to hatch these precious gems. For the next 3 to 4 weeks, they will spend most of their time in the nest. Further south, other stork families already have good news. This stork successfully hatched 1 egg and now has a needy chick to take care of. She is always hungry, and both mother and father will have to work as a team to fulfill the chick's needs. On the other side of the bay, another stork hatched 2 eggs. It will be a challenge for the chicks to grow healthy and reach adulthood. Nature can be very unpredictable. Where the sea meets the land, everything seems still at first sight. We have to look closer to have a glimpse of the wildlife here. An incredible variety of small beings slowly patrol the recently uncovered rocks. Others will have to wait inside their closed shells for the next tide. Coasts are one of the most shifting habitats on Earth. And the reason are tides. Tides are the rise and fall of sea levels, caused by the gravitational forces exerted by the moon, the sun, and the rotation of the earth. Yet, the moon plays the most important role in this natural phenomenon. The changing distance separating the moon and earth is the key factor on how high the tides are. When the moon is closest, the range increases, and when it is further away, the range shrinks. This makes an ever-changing landscape. Twice a day, the sea waters rise and fall. This can create small paradises to the animals that depend on the sea. For the creatures that live here, life is full of thrills. Turning minutes into seconds, we can see all of this commotion in action. Every day, they face the threat of being scorched by the sun, so they have to run for cover. Limpets and snails rush to find tide pools until the waters rise again. In 6 hours, everything will change again. The tides, together with the strong storms that hit the coast, are the true sculptures of this coastal landscape. For millennia, they have been slowly reshaping every bit of the coastline. Waves higher than a 10-story building arrive here every year. This creates one of the most stunning nature events of the planet. Surviving here is only for the fittest. Back at the stork nests, the lone chick didn't make it. Nature can be ruthless. While some perish, others thrive. In the other nest, the two brothers are about to take their first flights. They start to exercise their wings. Soon, they will have to face a long journey to Africa, where they will spend the winter. The small shrubs that cover the top of the cliffs are very rich in wildlife. Hidden by the bushes, wasps are taking care of their nest. Their larvae are carnivore, so they will have to search for food. With a strong sense of smell, it won't be difficult to find something. A dead hare is a perfect chance. The wasps gather to collect the dead meat and take it back to the nest. But a trophy like this does not go unnoticed for long. The smell is rapidly spreading, and other animals already sensed it. An Egyptian mongoose is nearby, and she is not alone. Her cubs are still at her guard. Being a mother, she has to be careful. On open ground, they are too exposed. She has to assess if it's worth the risk. An eagle approaches. but scavenging is not for her. The coast is clear. Mongooses are cunning hunters, but an easy meal like this cannot be wasted. They start their approach. While the mother watches out, one of the cubs goes for the meal. But the wasps don't seem to want to share, and a few stings drive the cub away. The urge to feed is too strong to ignore. Second attempt. The promise of food is worth a few more stings. After all this fuss, only a few wasps remained, and the mongoose's thick fur acts like an armor. Finally, the wasps give up, and it's time for the family to feast. There is enough food for everyone. The middle of the Atlantic is a harsh place to be in. Some of the heaviest storms are born here. Getting hit by a storm is as usual as it gets for the Azores Islands. The first of this set of 9 volcanic islands, Santa Maria, rose from the depths of the ocean about 8 million years ago. Some of these islands are still growing, and the last volcanic eruption happened here in Fayal Island in the 50s. At that time, the island enlarged over 1.5 square miles, creating this moon-like landscape. Today, the volcano is a reminder of the devastating power of nature. The Portuguese started settling on the islands in the 15th century. Since then, a lot has changed. The original vegetation was cleared, and most of what we see today was brought from the 4 corners of the world. One can only wonder how these islands would be in a pristine state. Even so, the subtropical climate of the islands still creates an evergreen landscape. Being separated from the continent, the islands have a few endemic species, and the Azores bullfinch is perhaps the most iconic. Most of the volcanoes are dormant, and their craters are filled with water, forming breathtaking lakes. The heavy rains that fall all year round create an idyllic landscape full of waterfalls. The Azores are a true wonder, but its most precious treasures lie not far and the blue waters that surround the islands. These waters are still largely unexplored. Until now, scientists have identified more than 1,500 species. Of all these, more than 500 are fish. The waters are rich in nutrients and can support large communities. Huge schools of fish swarm along the reef edges around the islands. A Guinean pufferfish is on his daily search for food. This rock seems a good place to find it. Nearby, on the sandy bottom, a red-striped mullet is probing for food. This can present a good opportunity for the pufferfish. After watching for a while from a safe distance, he decides to join the mullet. The pufferfish waits patiently, while the mullet does all the hard work. The strategy is paying off. The pufferfish is getting some scraps. The mullet's tolerance comes to an end, and he drives the pufferfish away. For others, like the lizardfish, the strategy consists on waiting for the prey to come by. The groper is a common sight in this area. It is a solitary fish. It patrols its territory, always on the lookout for intruders. The barred hogfish is one of the most colorful presences here. The resident species have a constant supply of food brought by the Gulf currents. The Azores waters are also known to shelter big communities of large fish and marine mammals that come here because of the rich feeding grounds. The blue shark is one of them. They roam the channels between the islands, enjoying the richness of the stunning oceanic ecosystem.